Hello, everybody. This is Larkin Omega, and welcome back to Depression on Dark Souls. So yesterday I kind of waffled about and was all over the place about talking about the similarities between Dark Souls and dealing with depression and all that. I'm going to go ahead and blame that on the fact that it's actually hard to talk about. The stigma that I talked about yesterday, um, it does make this subject kind of rough to discuss and talk about. Um, Makes you think about what's going on and all that, and it's it's just kind of rough, you know. So today we're going to talk about the journey in Dark Souls and how that correlates to my personal type of depression.
I am.
Um,
Is it?
so when you start out in Dark Souls, you start out in the Undead Asylum, right? And you are in a place that you don't know why you're there. You know that something happened, but you're not quite you're not in the right place. You're not in the right state of mind. You're completely confused. You're dead. You start off in the asylum and you have to somebody drops you the key. You have to fight your way out. You have to deal with this big demon, the physically giant demon blocking your way out. And if you don't know the game, you try and fight him right away. And he probably kills you quite a bit. And that right there is exactly what it feels like when you start with depression. You aren't sure. You aren't sure what's going on. You don't know why you're feeling the way you are. And the little things, become enormous problems that just block your way until you can figure them out. So that's an almost direct mirror. Almost a direct mirror to Dark Souls, to the beginning of Dark Souls. And then there's more. So whenever you get out of the asylum, you finally get out of the asylum and you take off. You take off into the sky. You feel wonderful. You've done it. You're free, right? Well, no, not exactly. You get here and then you talk to a guy. In fact, since I'm here, you talk to a guy as soon as you land. You show up right here at this bonfire, and you talk to this gentleman right here. Now, this gentleman is depressed. He's slowly turning hollow. He knows it. He thinks it's inevitable. He's not willing to fight back. This right here, this guy right here, is by far the strongest representation of depression in Dark Souls. This guy right here. He sits here until he's too annoyed by Framped, and then he leaves and turns hollow. He gives up. This right here, this guy right here is so strongly representative of depression. He is depressed. You can tell it from the way he talks. You can tell it from his responses to everything. And he tells you what to go do, but he says it's pointless. You might as well just give up because you're not going to make it. There's too many things in your way. It's supposed to motivate you, and for a lot of people it does. A lot of people will say, okay, this guy is being completely unreasonable. He's not even trying. I'm going to go do it. You know, that's a good attitude to have for a gamer, and just in general in life. If somebody tells you you shouldn't do this because there's too many things in the way, you should probably give it a try. But on the other hand, to another person with depression, it doesn't seem so absurd. If somebody said, "Well, you got all this stuff is in your way, you might as well not try this." In real life, as I am right now, I would probably take their advice. And that's sad. In the end, that's the problem with depression. Is it makes you just not want to try things. It makes you not want to move forward. It makes you not want to make yourself better. But because this is a game, we ignore this guy and we push on anyway. So, we travel upwards. And this is a theme that's been expanded upon by a number of other people. I'm not breaking new ground with how the journey is laid out in Lordran. It's pretty standard at this point that that the way the journey works is that you travel upwards and then you travel downwards. But the trick is that it also mirrors depression pretty solidly. Especially my type. I have fluctuations where I will have up periods and down periods. Where I feel able to do stuff and then feel completely unable to do anything. So the fact that in Lordran, the very first thing you do is you travel upwards. You go up through Undead Burg, you fight your way up to an aqueduct above everything, like on top of the wall. And there you fight your first boss. I mean, along the way there's been quite a number of little challenges. You've probably gotten kicked back, knocked out a couple times, which is so accurate to depression as well. Getting knocked down just by the little things in life. But anyway, sorry, got distracted by things. So getting knocked down by the little things in life. And then you make it past them, you get past them, and then there's this roadblock. This giant demon thing is in your way, and you have to find a way through it. And you can't really get past it without some really fancy maneuvering. But even if you get past it, you still have to turn around and face it. And that speaks so strongly to, like, assignments, things that you have to do, responsibilities in life. Like, all the little annoyances, which is what we'll call the hollows, that you have to fight on the way up to the Taurus demon, annoyances. Because that's pretty accurate for what they are. They're just annoying. And while I'm talking about this, we'll go to Honorlando, and kill some giants and stuff. Get another level. So while you're dealing with annoyances in Undead Burg and everything, you're sometimes you get set back, but you're figuring your way through, and most of the time you're doing all right. Okay. But then you get to the Taurus demon, and he's a problem. He's a responsibility. He is an issue you have to deal with. He's an assignment at school. He is a project at work. He is having to renew a driver's license. He is whatever. And he's a setback. He's the first real boss you fight in this game. And it takes a little bit to figure out how to beat him. And when you get up there the very first time, you don't know about those archers on the tower behind you. Honestly, you didn't see them. You really, really didn't see them. So it's you just... So you're facing this problem in front of you. You are dealing with it, but not in a good way. Oh, you know what? I better not do that. You are dealing with it, but then there's these little annoyances behind you that you have to deal with as well. And you don't know about them until you're already in the middle of trying to figure out this responsibility, this problem that you have to face. So the annoyances just compound. And they are probably what contribute the most to taking you down, even though there's this big problem you're dealing with. So the annoyances just compound the issues that you're facing. And you probably end up failing. I know I didn't get the Taurus Demon for 3 or 4 tries. This was a while ago, back when I started playing, which was before Dark Souls 2 released. So think about how long ago that was. I know I didn't get it the first time. I'm pretty sure it took me 2 or 3 tries because of those damn archers. So you go through and you finally figure it out. You take out the annoyances first, which again is a good way to do it in real life as well. You take out the annoyances first, and then you go and you deal with the major problem, which is a Taurus Demon, and you get past them. Maybe not that time, but 1 or 2 times after that, you pretty easily get past them when it happens. You learn its patterns. You learn how to deal with it. Again, just like problems in real life, you figure things out. And you feel good. So we're climbing, and then we get to a bridge. And now this bridge foretells problems and danger. And I'm doing terribly against this frickin' gargoyle. Anyway, this bridge foretells danger and problems and all this stuff. There are scorch marks. You've already seen the Drake flying around. It's very, very good at foretelling what is about to happen to you. But you get to this bridge and you think, well, maybe I can just run across without issues. Maybe I don't need to know what I need to do. I can just get across here. And no, you're going to get hit by fire, and if you're not at full life, if you're not completely ready for it, you go down. You're still high at this point. Think about that, though. We're still climbing higher. So we're on an upward spiral, and we're facing all these problems that are, granted, they're knocking us down, but we're at the beginning of the game. We're still doing good. So we come back and we face it again. And we get through this time, because that's a pretty easy puzzle to deal with. You don't know how you can kill the Drake yet, but you're pretty sure you can come back and do it at some point. Speaking of, I've not beaten that Drake yet. I didn't see the point of spending that much time there, but then you go through the Undead Parish, and you got a couple enemies to deal with. You're continually climbing. These guys are bigger annoyances than what you've been dealing with before. But you are still dealing with them, and you're getting past it, and that boar gets in your way, but it's not a big deal. Wow, I need to focus. And you're climbing, and you face a couple bigger annoyances, and then you get up to the gargoyles. Now, if you talk to Solaire, you've made a friend along the way, Solaire. You talk to him, you can go ahead and pull him into the fight. You know, it's nice to have a friend come along. But you're facing against another boss. And the gargoyles represent the unpredictability in life. Like the tourist team and everything was apparent from the beginning. You knew what was going on. It wasn't like it was unexpected with the annoyances with the hollows up in the tower shooting their arrows at you, but in the end it wasn't that big of a deal. You dealt with those. They were there from the beginning. Well, with the gargoyles, it's different because there are two of them, and the other one comes through halfway through the fight, and he starts breathing fire, which is new, completely new, in both aspects. No, I'm doing really bad. So, another boss, similar to the very first one you're fighting, shows up halfway through. This is indicative of many of the things that happen in life. Many, many of the things. But you're still going up. And you get up and you ring the Bell of Awakening. And you feel like you've accomplished something. But Depressed Guy, down at the beginning, has told you there's two. So you're not done yet. So you have to start going down. And in my life, this is exactly what happens. I will have a period of feeling good, of being able to actually accomplish things, even with extra problems presented. And then I'll go down. And I'll get worse and worse and worse. So when you first go down, you go down into Lower Undead Burg. And it's not too bad. There are rampaging mobs of hollows wielding torches. But that's not too hard to deal with. There's dogs, which are slightly harder to deal with. There are assassins, which jump out of nowhere. Man, isn't that indicative of life, too? And it's starting to get darker and more cramped. And you're not comfortable, and you're not sure what you're supposed to be doing. You can't really see the road because it's so dark and cramped. Oh, you got me. So you're headed down, and you're not sure if you can handle it because you're starting to go down. But you're still in Lower Undead Burg, and you face the Capra Demon. Now, I got pretty lucky against Capra Demon. I beat him the first time. I knew what to expect going in, and I was able to dodge and just deal with him. And that felt like an okay victory. Not quite as good as a Taurus Demon at the very beginning. But it was an okay victory. Which is saying something. Because when you're feeling down, even when you succeed, it doesn't feel like a payoff. It doesn't feel as good as when you're going up and you succeed. Which is a problem. One of the issues with depression is that you can't lift yourself out of a hole. You're there and you're stuck for a good long while, whether you want to be or not. So you beat the Capra Demon and then you head lower. He gives you a key to the depths. Now, the depths is not a fun place. There's rats. There's lizards. There's basilisks that turn you into crystal. There's a bunch of pitfalls. You're wading through slime. There's slime that falls from the ceiling and jumps you. It's not a fun place. It's the sewers. It's bad. And you're still headed down. At the end of the depths, you fight the Gaping Dragon, which is this big, very obvious vagina. Very, very obvious that that's what it is, and that's what it represents. Oh, good. I've got a blue bottle wasp in my room. It's very, very obvious that that's what it suggests and represents and everything. And you have to fight this thing and deal with it. And granted, your friend Slayer's there, but even he's not that much of a help against this thing. But eventually you beat it, and you're probably feeling all right. I mean, you're still headed down. So the fact that you beat it just means that you're going to go into more shit. And sure enough, Blight Town is worse than the depths. Blight Town's not a fun place to be. You feel terrible. You have to go down and down and down, and the footing is unsteady. You don't know where to go. It's confusing. Things are being thrown at you. You're being poisoned. So even if you take something out, you can still die from it. And again, that's like depression. It's things can get in your head and rag on you and make you think, and they can get to you after you've already dealt with the problems that you got the idea from. And you feel horrible that you're letting it affect you. I mean, you should be over this, right? You should have been able to deal with this and moved on. But you can't. It weighs on your mind. And it just is getting to you. So we're down in Blight Town, and we finally make it down out of the rickety, raftery things. And you are in this horrible, horrible place where the ground poisons you. And you look around for a bit, and then you find where you're supposed to be going, which is another analog for human anatomy. If you look at how it looks, it's pretty obvious. But there's these giants that throw rocks, and it's just like you have to run through this poison pool to get there, and it's just not nice. And then if you're me, you make it past all that, you run into the boss, you found a friend who you're not sure about because you had to beat her up to get there. Poor Mildred. And you run in, and the boss one-shots you while you're already down. That's not fun. But you're so close to your goal. You know this is the only thing standing in front of you. Standing between you and what you need to do. So you go back in, and you figure it out, and you beat it. And this is the bottom point of this. At this point, you can go further down, but that's for your own choosing. And it goes to a better place further down, believe it or not, which is a little bit weird with real life. That doesn't match up too well. But even the Great Hollow and then Ash Lake are not good places. But you're at the lowest, and you have this major victory against something that has been an issue. And that feels so good. Feels so good you don't mind wading through the shit again. Climb your way back up and getting out of there. So, we've rung both bells of awakening. We've climbed our ways out of the depths of despair and out of the depths of Blight Town. But now we're going to a place that is not nice, Sen's Fortress. And you're climbing up all throughout Sen's Fortress. If you fall down, you've made a mistake. If you fall down in Sen's, you have made a mistake. But you can see most of the traps in Sen's Fortress. They're pretty obvious for the most part. But you still fall for them. And you just can't avoid some of them the first time through. You have to deal with it. You're not sure how you can deal with it. So you don't know exactly what to do. So you're making your way through this trap-infested place where you see the problems coming, but a lot of them you can't avoid. And that is a lot like life under depression too. With experience, you can see a lot of the problems that you're going to run into. But the way my specific depression works, at least, is that I might be able to see the problems, but I can't apply the answers, or I don't know how to apply the answers to get past these problems, to avoid them entirely. And it's hard. But moving on, you are dealing with the problems and sins, right? We're getting past it. We are moving on. Then we get to that boss, the Iron Giant. And we've had a giant throwing explosive boulders at us. We've dealt with snake people who are really big annoyances compared to like the hollows. Might have fallen down and had to deal with what's down there. Titanite demons are not fun, but you know, they are what they are. All of those are just annoyances. They're not bosses. But the Iron Giant is a boss. Now, there's a friend to help out if you can go find him. He's a little bit hidden, but he's there, which can sometimes be what happens in life with friends. People who you aren't quite sure about. People you're not sure you can share with what you're going through. You're not sure you can count on them if you do share. Not sure if you can count on them if you don't. But we're traveling through Sens and we get to the Iron Giant and we can summon this guy, Tarkus. He seems pretty cool. He looks like he could be a real nice guy. And sure enough, he's a big help. He knows his shit and he helps out a lot with the boss. And I managed to kill the boss first time. I don't think I'd have had any problem even if I hadn't had Lightning Spear. This one is big and it's in your way, but it's a whole lot of bluster and it's fairly easy to get past. So you're on your way up. And sure enough, once you beat him, you are greeted by some gargoyles who carry you off to this beautiful, gorgeous country. Anor Londo, City of the Gods. Bright and like it looks amazing, and there's big annoyances here too, but you're on top of the world. You are ready and raring to go. You don't know yet that it's all a lie, and you don't know that from here, the only place left to go is down. There's only one more spot to go up from Anor Londo. And that's the Duke's Archives. And even there, you'll be going down. Duke's Archives are even higher than Anor Londo. But in order to beat that place, you have to go down to a crystal cave, which is down. The catacombs are down. Lost Isles is down. The Four Kings are down. From Anor Londo, it's just down. The Kiln of the First Flame is the lowest point. It's below Ash Lake. There's no hope in sight from when you leave Anor Londo. And if you uncover the secret, if you find out that it's all a lie, think about that. That has happened to me in real life. Where I've been going up. I've been going up and I'm having a great time and I'm doing great and I'm feeling good. And then it's all a lie at the top. And the only place left I have to go is down. And there's no light, there's no guidance. There's a couple friends I might find along the way. Some of them are dealing with their own problems, a la Solaire. And the journey through the darkness is the roughest part. And sometimes I don't know how we climb out. And I know that there are people who don't. And you hate to think about, am I one of those people who are not going to make the climb? Who are not going to try and ascend because of the lie that I was experiencing last time? And it's hard. It's not easy. But at the end of Dark Souls and at the end of this darkness in real life, it's always your choice to do whatever it is that you're going to do. Whether you're going to sacrifice yourself to rekindle the first flame, or walk out of the room and bring on an age of dark for everybody else, or you're going to claw your way out of this darkness that's gripping your heart and your soul. It's gripping your mind, making it hard to think, hard to do, hard to be. It's always your choice to take the path that is right for you. So I think that's enough for today for Depression and Dark Souls. I made my level. I think we'll head to Blight Town and go looking for a Firekeeper's soul instead. So we're going back down, folks, but that's it. That's the only place I got to go left to go in this game. It's alright though. We'll make our own choices and we'll find our way out of here. I'm gonna go ahead and finish these last two off. Because that's my choice. And I'm choosing to struggle on.